Alright, this will be nice with the snow.
What's that?
I said this will be nice with the snow. Be able to see.
You want to do the audio?
I think this should pick it up pretty good. Because there's hardly any wind, so this microphone on the camera should work.
Okay. Well, we're pruning. This is an apple tree. Now, this is not normal that I have a branch this low, but I did a graft right here, and it's a pretty see right there, and it's a pretty good apple. So I'm going to keep it. And even if it lays on the ground, it doesn't hurt anything because the ground is just good wood chips, and nothing's gonna rot, and it's just it's no problem. But usually, I don't have anything that low. But like I say, I did a graft, and it's another variety. It's pretty good, and so we're gonna keep it.
And in the event that it does not work out there, you can always cut a piece off of it and graft higher.
Do it again, yeah, someplace else.
Do you want to talk about where to make your cuts?
You always want to cut close, and the reason is it'll heal. If you don't cut close, it won't heal. And if you look at, it's real interesting where the collar is. There's like a little line right there. You see if you cut really close, the collar can grow over the cut and heal it. You can see places here where I've cut in the past.
That looks like an old graft.
That's the graft right up here.
Uh-huh.
A little piece right there. You know how the collar just grows right over it and totally heals it.
Yep.
Or if you leave a stump out there, the collar can't grow over it, and you have now a stump which is kind of ugly, and then the wood underneath dies and you create a cavity which weakens the tree.
How much of the tree do you want to prune a year?
No more than 1/3. A lot of times people buy property that have a lot of established old trees, and they've been let go. No one's done anything to them, and they go after them. But if you cut more than 1/3 of the max, the tree will just sucker everywhere you cut, and you'll never control it. So if you come to old trees, the first year you want to get in there and just get rid of all the crossovers, all the dead wood, open it up, and the next year you start bringing it down. But you do it over a period of time, because if you do more than 1/3, the tree just goes crazy and it just becomes not beneficial. What I found in my experience, unless the tree is really a good producer of a good variety, it's not worth the effort and time it takes to correct it. It's just best to take it out and buy a good variety, because there's so many good varieties out there, and they produce really quickly if you're in good soil. So it's just, again, the economics of trying to resurrect an old tree that's really not good. It's not worth all the time and effort. And I've done it. I've gone to people's yards and dug out big trees and brought home, spent a whole day in digging it out and digging the whole big up to plant it. And then I plant a little one and watch the little ones produce better. And I'm thinking like, what? This wasn't a good idea.
You're better off just grafting from that tree.
Yeah. Because variety is everything. It could be, if it's not a good variety, it's just not worth having. I don't care how well it produces. We had the earliest apple that produces is yellow transparent, and to me it's just completely worthless, because it's in the day it gets ripe is the only time you can use it, and it has no shelf life. It doesn't last for any time at all. It gets soft immediately. And I'm thinking like, what's up with that? That's not functional.
Now there's snow on the ground. What time of year is the best time to prune?
The best time, again, the thing that is I'm seeing so much in life is being practical. This time of year, there's no lawn to mow. I have no garden to take care of. There's no weeds to pull. And all the leaves are out of the tree, so it's convenient. It's totally convenient. Nothing else to do, so it's just, and again, having all the leaves out gives you, such good visibility to see where everything's coming from, so it just makes it so convenient to work in it.
Yep.
Now all summer long though I prune, and here's something I want to bring to your attention. If you go to orchards, it's so crazy. These people are growing trees to make a living. You see all these suckers growing up through the center of all these trees. You're thinking like, what's up with that? And then they foliate and create shade, and they take all this energy out of the tree they're going to cut off in the fall. I thought, what's the point? So all summer long I come through my orchard with my hand, and the little suckers I just rub them off. I don't use my pruners. And I keep my trees totally, if you look at all the trees I haven't done, you don't see any suckers in the top because I take them all out. Because there's just no point in having them. And the best time to get rid of them is up front when they first show up. Why have them take energy from the trees that, it's not going to be productive. Again, just, the thing I'm seeing, common sense just seems to be so lacking. It's just because it's not complicated, it's pretty obvious. So you can prune all summer long just with your hand, which is great, easy.
What's the name of this tree?
This tree is a Harleman. It's a red apple. It's okay. It's an okay apple. It's not the best, but it's all right.
Yeah, I think I remember what it tastes like. It's like mid-season one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not real late, not real early, but mid-season. But I've got a lot of different grafts in it now.
Yeah, I know. There's a bunch. Pretty much every branch has a graft on it.
Which indicates that it probably wasn't the best tree. Because if you got a good tree, you're not going to want to change it.
Yeah.
Yeah, grafting is so fun because you can always introduce new varieties to your orchard. You don't have to, have space and plant trees.
Increased pollination.
Yeah, it does increase the pollination big time. Well, I had an experience a couple of years ago with my pear tree. I have a Bosc pear, and that thing, it's been here for like years, and never produced more than like 1 or 2 apples a year. And I'm thinking like, man, this is not good. I gotta change this, And I'm thinking like, I want to take the tree out because it's a nice big tree. So what I did, I grafted into it. My Claps favorite was one of my favorite varieties. And the next year, man, the second year after I grafted it, it really bloomed big time. And the Holy Spirit said to me, I want you to pay attention to that bloom over there. Watch that tree. And so it was just phenomenal bloom. Well, that year, that tree was loaded with apples. We're talking apples everywhere. And it really got my attention. Having the cross-pollination in the tree is so much more effective than having it somewhere else in the orchard because it's right there. And when the wind blows, you don't need bees. Just the wind will cross-pollinate it. And so it just was really an amazing thing. So I'm really motivated in doing a lot of grafting because it really stimulates and encourages cross-pollination, which is so significant to fruit development.
Do you like the snow willow? Are you crazy? Yes. Now this is a yellow Gravenstein, isn't it? Or
No,
you have a
this-
yellow
this
one.
is a Macoun. The yellow one's
No,
over,
over there. Yeah,
Gravenstein's
never mind.
there. This is a Macoun.
Forgot where I was standing.
Now this is a tree I dug out of someone's yard and brought in.
Really?
Comes on farmland.
How big was it when you dug it?
It's pretty good size.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
And I feel like some people are gonna ask, how do you dig a big tree up?
Well, you go out, you go out so far and you do a circle.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the roots going down aren't really critical to save. It's the fine hair roots on top are feeders.
Mm-hmm.
The ones going below deep are there for support, but they're not feeders. And so it's not a big deal to. So I just go down. The ones that go down, I just cut off right early, and then I just go wide, and then I try to save the feeders on hairy
Surface roots.
feeders on the top.
Yep.
But it's amazing, how much how you can really move pretty big trees.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but it's doable. They
Yep.
they will live.
So what are you doing now? Like the branches you just took off.
Well, see, they were in the way. You see these little suckers inside here.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you want to prune so that everything has exposure to sun and air. Things have to have light. And see, things that are going underneath, that's going to get shaded. And then again, it's perspective. You want things nice and flat. Not things shooting up all. I mean, order is kind of, I think, an important kind of a thing. And
Mhm.
so you just want to, pruning is an art form. It's not a science, and so everything has to fit and look good. And so, and again, it's just a matter of having a good eye to have everything, and it's just about things flow like you see. See, this is going against the flow. It's just kind of like a sore thumb.
Yep.
And so just everything just does flow out of the tree, naturally, and just have it look nice. It should it should look good as well as be productive.
So basically, anything going straight up or straight down
Yeah.
comes out, and then lateral growth just can't cross and shade each other out.
And then the reality is, if in a tree, what part of the tree produces fruit? The upright growth or the lateral?
The lateral.
And so what's the tree there for? It's a fruit tree. I mean, it's just
Yep.
again, it's just so common sense. It's not complicated.
I see a good branch to talk about centers. What do you think about this one?
What's that now?
The centers. Cutting centers out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, what I'm going to do here, because see, this
What
is
are you
more
thinking?
going out here. I'll take this lower part.
Uh-huh.
This
Just
will be
keep
the
it coming
finish
in or out. I gotcha.
Because that's going more into the center of the tree.
Uh-huh.
Keep that open. So that got broke
Mm-hmm.
by something. So this is heading down. Not getting any light. This is going into the center.
Having snow on the ground really helps. You can really see the branches.
Makes a nice contrast.
Yep.
Snow. That's God's design of slow release drip irrigation. I love it. It never puddles, or water runs from it. It slowly releases into the ground.
Yep. And snow actually insulates the soil and encourages nitrogen-fixing bacteria and fungi even in the winter. So when it snows, the soil actually gets fertilized too. As much as I hate the snow, it's got some benefits, but
Nature's pretty amazing.
yep.
And they have the insanity to question intelligent design.
Mm-hmm. So basically, as you prune, you're envisioning where the tree's going to grow in the future. Like looking at each branch and thinking, like, when it's bigger, it's going to go this way or that way. And
Yeah, you just want to train it, to develop into the tree that you want. That's what's so cool about pruning, is that every year you get new options. You can keep developing something really nice. It's like, you build a house, it's done. But
yep.
pruning is just non-ending development.
Tova. Come here. You're not Tova.
You'll come to any attention you can get. You don't care.
I know. She's a hog. So that one was getting too close to the ground.
It was just too much in here.
Yep.
It's just getting crowded.
Those puppies across the street just don't stop yapping.
How many does she have? So
I don't know how many. I think some people have picked some up already, but
you still have most
there was
of them.
11 total. And she's keeping one. Okay, so what did you do right there?
Cut to a bud coming out.
Yep.
So this, that's actually a fruit spur that'll, bloom and probably have apples on it.
Yep.
That's, going up. Going out over here. So I gotta maintain a walkway here.
Yep.
So I gotta. Make sure there's room for all of us to get through it.
And when the cow comes running through again.
Yeah, that's not good. They don't have any respect for pathways.
No. Although I'm pretty shocked at how little that cow did, how little damage. That thing was booking it. Alright, for the sake of the length of the video, what are like the most important tips you think you'd make sure somebody knows if they're going to go out and prune their tree?
Well, you want to have good tools to begin with. That really
Yeah,
helps.
you should talk about them real quick. That's a really
This
good
is,
one.
A challenge pruning saw. If the Japanese make these, and they'll tell you that those blades are so sharp and so nice. Let me just give you an example, a demonstration here. When you cut with a typical pruning saw, they leave a pretty rough finish. I want you to notice the finish on this. See how fast I got through, but if you can, you can look at that. I mean, it's totally smooth. I mean, it's like totally amazing.
Yep.
And you saw how fast I got through. I mean, it's really sharp. And then your pruners. This is Felco number 8. They're made in Switzerland, and they're really well-made pruners. And there's one feature about this that is really awesome. If you ever use pruners, you keep using them. Over time, they get sloppy in here and they wiggle.
Yep.
And they don't make clean cuts. But look how they solve that with this. You see this little screw right here with these teeth? What happens when it gets loose, you loosen that up and you tighten that so you're right back to being close, and you push that back in to hold it there. And so you always maintain a nice close edge. I mean, this came with plastic handles I wore off. I've had this thing for decades. And it's still good because it's just well made.
Yep.
When you sharpen them, they're really easy. You see this kind of like a little edge right there. You take your file and you go across that at that angle. You flip it over and you go flat across the back. Take that burr off, and that's all you have to do. It's really quick.
Super simple.
Very simple. And you can make, sharp tools are so much nicer than dull. I mean, they just,
Yep.
things are working right. They're enjoyable.
Yep. It's not a job to prune your tree.
But yeah, good tools are really significant. Make
Yep.
such a difference. Make something fun instead of laborious and no fun.
Yep. And then what about your scabbard? Because a
Now,
lot of people ask about that.
this is really. You see, I have everything right there. The saw and the pruners, which is hanging right on my belt, which is so nice. It's just convenient.
Yep.
I used to use loppers. You hang them, they fall over. And kind of. This just has everything in one place, and it just makes it so much easier, so much comfortable to work with.
Now, speaking of loppers,
That's not a pruning tool.
there we go.
Loppers are made for
Lopping.
lopping and making brush small.
Yep.
They're not designed for pruning, so don't use them for pruning, because they can't make close cuts. You always leave a little stump out there, and so get good tools and these hand pruners and that saw is the only two tools I need for any kind of pruning, because they do everything.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's how you prune trees with Paul Gauchi. And maybe throughout the winter we'll do another video, just for fun. All right, everybody, happy pruning. So real quick, just wanted to throw in at the end of the video, all of the prunings from the apple trees and basically all the fruit trees, except for figs. I don't really like using the figs. I don't think it's that good for them. But anyways, I feed all of the little branches in the wintertime to the rabbits. Paul used to just burn them, and that works great because then you can put the ashes back into the garden and in the orchard to remineralize the soil and stuff. But I mean, it's really not that much minerals and ash that come from pruning 40 something trees in the orchard. So now we're really utilizing it a whole lot more by feeding the branches to the rabbits. It's pretty amazing. Like, I'll fill these cages up with branches, and by the end of the day there's hardly anything left. Like, there's some of the bigger ones from the last time I fed them, but they strip all the bark off and then they chew on the wood, and that helps file their teeth down. But in nature, rabbits naturally eat branches and barky, woody stuff through the winter, and there's two reasons. One, it helps as a dewormer. There's tannic acids in the fruit tree wood that basically prevent the rabbits from getting parasites, and if they have parasites, it helps get rid of them. And then the sap in the branches, being that the trees naturally store all their sap in the winter to help keep them from freezing, is really good for them. Extremely high in minerals, extremely high in vitamins and protein and sugars, which help keep the rabbits warm in the winter. It's just really good for them. So anyways, now every time Paul gets out there and prunes, rabbits get fed. So it's pretty neat. A little bit of rhododendron in there. Probably not going to feed them that, but Mr. Bojangles. These little babies are getting so big. They're pretty cute. Getting fat, aren't you? So the babies and the mom over there, well, when I went out of town the first time, she got extremely underweight. So anyways, her and the babies, I give, well, she gets half a sweet potato a day, and then the babies get 1.5 sweet potatoes between the 5 of them. That just helps pack on the pounds a little bit in the winter and keeps them warmer, and they grow a lot quicker. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, so they're getting big. They think they're 7, maybe 8 weeks old now. All right, I think, I don't know, if this is a female, I think this is the one I'm keeping. Oh, she's so furry. Oh well. Them some branches. Good job, Micah. Move. Alright, so just wanted to throw that in there. It's a fun little tip if you've got rabbits. They really appreciate it, and it really makes use of like all the materials that get produced on the farm. So anyways, happy pruning, happy rabbits. God bless. All right, real quick, here it is, the evening. I think it's around 7:30, I guess, at night, of the day that I put the doohickeys in there. What are they called? Branches. But they've practically stripped all the bark off of all of them. They've eaten a lot of the smaller twigs completely. Here's the babies. Crazy little guys. Get back in there. Go. But yeah, rabbits certainly love the pruned branches from your trees. Look, she's chowing down on some right now. Let's have Reba. Got such a thick winter coat. All right, Reba. Say adios.